Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the most rarest and forgotten kid shows. I am your host, I am Anthea. I lived 1,000 years and now I am going to introduce you to the most one and only scary kiddie show brought to you by CITV. Let's see what we're doing. It's Grizzly Tales, everybody! Don't worry, I'm not Anthea, I'm Emily. It's just me in a costume. So, Grizzly Tales, oh my goodness. Do you know what? I have spent ages and ages and ages trying to figure out what can I do? What kids show can I possibly do? Now, loads of you probably may know this, but I never celebrate Halloween. Obviously, my mom as a child never allowed me or my older sister to go trick-or-treating because we were Catholics. Now, it really did piss me off because all of my friends, they all went trick-or-treating and we went to the same Catholic school. And even when we tried to convince our mom, she still disagreed with it. And eventually I was able to go trick-or-treating when I was about 12 years old, and it was with little kids, so therefore not fun. And obviously Halloween is definitely a very scary time for me. I don't know why, but obviously because I have had a very childhood trauma with this, which I might mention later. I honestly don't know. So, Grizzly Tales, another one of my favourite shows that I always ran home from school and putting on the telly and always just sitting down and watch it and get goosebumps all the time. So, yeah, and it's funny though, because I was thinking, as it's Halloween, I thought to myself, I need to do something scary, something that's all to do with Halloween, and I kept thinking, what most forgotten show can I possibly do? I thought of Scary Sleepover, which is a reality show when 3 kids, they go into a haunted house and they have to spend the night there. And if they win, they get a trip to Alton Towers. So I decided no, because then I'll probably have a rant about this. Should I do Goosebumps? But the problem is that Goosebumps always traumatise me. So, and I even tried watching a few episodes and I was like, I don't remember any of them. So yeah, this one was very hard to do, but thankfully I decided to have a watch of Grizzly Tales and I thought I need to talk about this one. So I apologise if this one is not as good as the other shows that I've done, or like the memories I can share with you guys, but fingers crossed it will go well. So as most of you probably may know, Grizzly Tales was a kiddie show, but of course it had so much scary and very twisty classic stories. Now obviously when I say classic, nothing like a classic story or anything. They would show you just one classic story after another, and it would have like a very twisty ending, but a very good lesson learned. In every single introduction that you see of Grizzly Tales, you're obviously a little ginger boy walking into like a cinema and it's pouring down with rain and he's like the only one there, and apparently he has like a box full of popcorn, which is actually bugs. It is absolutely disgusting, but still he just eats and eats every single introduction that you see. And one thing that I've actually realised is that he must be a very brave boy to walk into that theatre and just enjoy every single little film. Like, how crazy is that? One of my favouriteest episodes that still to this day, and thinking back to when I was a little girl, I absolutely loved this episode. This one was called Knock down Ginger. So this story was about a young kid. His name was Ginger, probably because he had ginger hair, and he loved like knocking on people's doors and running away. And he tries to knock on like some old man's door, and he has all like the ants around him and all that. And of course, him and his mate, they play knock down Ginger, and he gets up and he's like, "What's going on? What is it?" However, another time that he did it, he eventually got caught. Let's have a little look at that.
The silly old codger's still in the kitchen at the other end of the house. Yes, said Mr. Thrips. What do you want? I presume it's you who's been ringing my bell all afternoon? Nothing, mumbled the frightened boy. Then leave while you still can.
Jeez, man, I don't think that is a very nice neighbour. I remember doing that all the time as a kid. I remember like having my older sister and my next door neighbour. We would always like knock on people's doors and of course run away. Obviously, you know, play in the game and knock down Ginger. And we did it one time and eventually we got caught. And I think it really upset us. And we all decided that, right, we are never doing that game again because it's too dangerous. And it's like thinking back to Grizzly Tales, it's like, yeah, I think after watching that episode, you would not want to do anything as stupid as that. Things get even more crazy and even more twisty when Ginger tries and tries again. Let's have another little look at that.
Ginger waited for half an hour, ringing again and again, until finally he turned around and went home.
How stupid can Ginger freaking be? You ring on an old man's doorbell for half an hour, or like wait for half an hour? Geez, if I had a neighbour who like kept ringing my doorbell without stopping for half an hour, I would literally be like, call the freaking police, or like I'd open the door, freaking snap whoever that was. And yeah, but seriously, it gets very annoying after a while. But of course, towards the end, it teaches him a very good lesson.
Shoes, then a pricking in his heels, then a strange thickening sensation that crept up his legs and spread through his body as if his blood had turned to sawdust. A few seconds later, standing on the path, she touched his cold cheek. And he disintegrated into a pile of ginger dust.
Ah! That is exactly what Grizzly Tales was meant for us kids all to do. Be like, and then, very scary. But what a very good story and a very good lesson learned. Don't ever knock on people's doors and run away, kids. It's dangerous. Another one of my favouriteest and kind of the most popular episode, and I'm pretty sure I have seen it maybe once or twice, definitely more than once, actually on CITV, has got to be the episode of The Childhood Snatcher. So apparently the Childhood Snatcher is all about a man who wants to have a very smart child. So what they do is he meets a perfect wife and they have a beautiful baby daughter. But you're not going to believe what kind of name they call her.
Amos christened her Albert. But Albert's a boy's name. Albert is the name of the greatest genius this world has ever known.
Do you know what? The first time I saw that episode, I was definitely on the mother's side. Why in the world would you name a daughter with a boy's name? I mean, unisex names, that's completely understandable. But Albert as a girl's name? What about Alberta? Isn't that a girl's name? Eventually, the dad makes the child, obviously the baby Albert, very smart in just 4 days. This is kind of a very similar story to the kiddie's story, Baby Brains. Apparently, the mother is very much against it. And do you know what? What really surprises me is how she doesn't leave him. But then again, there was one scene where, like, it really did break me. Let's have a little look at that.
This morning, Albert Albert wouldn't let her mother touch her. Albert doesn't love me anymore.
Oh, Albert doesn't love you. Do you know what? The first time I saw that, that really broke me. I mean, come on. How can a mother say that their baby doesn't love them anymore? But then again, that is a sign of postnatal depression, and that is really heartbreaking to even watch, because it's like there are thousands of like women who, you know, become like who something like suffer from depression, and it's really heartbreaking. Eventually, it soon turned out that Albert must have been a daddy's girl. So eventually, the dad got what he wanted. He got a very smart child. But every year, on the night of Albert's birthday, she would get a very strange visitor. Let's have a little look at that.
Albert received her second visit. You like the flying? Oh, yes, it's such fun. And your lessons with your father, are they fun too? No, they're too serious. If I'm happy, I want to laugh, but Daddy won't let me. That should do the trick. See you next year. And this time when the man flew...
Ouch! How on earth did baby Albert not even cry when this really scary character, no idea who it was, but it looks like some sort of witch, like take up a piece of Albert's hair? Didn't it even hurt her? As like the years go on, apparently one by one, hair taken each year, and the smarter that Albert gets, the more money that the father gets, and he obviously got what he wanted. But then, all of a sudden, there's a very, very old and twisty ending. Let's have a look at that.
There. When Albert's parents ran into the room, their little girl had gone. And in her place was a little old lady.
Ah! Albert, an old lady? How did that suddenly happen? Oh my goodness. What a freaky story and a very big twist. But then again, we all know that one person to blame, the dad. If he just didn't make Albert smart, but just given her a free childhood, make her like smile, make friends, go to school, go to nursery and have a flaming good childhood, she would have been all right. You stupid little dad. Another one of my favourite episodes that I remember seeing just one time, and I never saw it again, and thank goodness I found it like the other day. And apparently this episode was called The People's Potter. Now it was about a young girl named Greta who is like the most clumsiest girl in all of the freaking story. Like everywhere she walked, something would break. Every time she would hit, something would break. If she moved her arms around, again, it would break. Her parents are so wealthy that they even bought a very rare glass vase that costed £1 million. Like, what a lot of money. And it is so rare and very fragile that they ban her from going inside it. But unfortunately, that doesn't stop Greta from her most clumsiest moments.
Who wants a little hat then? It wasn't my fault. It never was. It was an accident. Wrong again. She needed to leave things alone. But clumsy people never do. When she was 8, she thought she heard a genie snoring and climbed inside with toast for his breakfast. It wasn't me. When she was 9, she took lessons on how to be ladylike. It wasn't me. And when she was 10, she danced the dance of the sugar plum fairy without the aid of a safety net. It wasn't me!
Goodness, I've never known. I would hate to have Greta in my house.
It wasn't me!
Oh, don't worry about that, Greta. It was just the cat. My most favourite scene on that was when the narrator kept saying when Greta was 8, she did something. When she was 9, she pretended to walk like a lady. And when she was 10, she danced the Sugar Plum Fairy. And of course, ended up doing such crazy things. But that was really what made it hilarious. Like when she goes, when she was 8, when she was 9, when she was 10. You know, you could have just said over the years, that would have made things so much easier. But just as things possibly couldn't get any worse, watch what happens next.
Not looking where she was going. Oh no, the vase! Greta's only thought was to save the Ming vase. But as she crawled into the hall, events took a bizarre turn. Oh, there it is. No! Who's there?
Oh my God. I think we need to be careful with who we take home. Seriously, maybe she should sit still for a few seconds. But thankfully, that's exactly what happened to Greta at the end of the show. Actually, wrap this show up. I've just remembered the childhood story that has kind of made me feel a little bit scared of Halloween. So, when I was a kid, my mom and my sister, we used to go to this gingerbread place, which was a charity for people and kids with single parents and I think who've been through divorces, and such a lovely charity. But we used to go there every single weekend. We'd meet families who have been through divorces, single parents and everything. And they had a Halloween party 1 October. And I think I was dressed up as a devil and my older sister was a witch. And we went into like a small room because apparently what happened was that there was a disco. And my mom wanted me to like just sit and wait and stuff like that. And out of nowhere, a man was dressed up as an all-in-one skeleton, literally had the mask on, and he came out of nowhere and he started roaring at me and I screamed to death. And the more I screamed, the more he roared at me. And then he took the mask off and revealing it was a person. And I burst out crying because it really scared me. And I thought, who the hell are you to scare me like that? And it scared me so badly that I was in the small room for hours. I was too scared to like come up on the dance floor and dance. But eventually towards the end, I finally managed to have about an hour of dance and I was a little bit annoyed to go home. But yeah, so I really hope that whoever it was that scared me got such a walloping. Apparently my mom did say she gave him such a big telling off, but karma is a bitch, man. So everybody, that was Grizzly Tales. I hope you guys enjoyed this Halloween special one. And just to let you guys know, I will be back a few times doing more of these Rarest and Forgotten kids shows because I still have got some on my list that have not been told yet. But this Christmas, I have got a very, very, very special one that I can't wait to show you, and I can't wait to start doing this with all of you guys. I'm going to try and make it one of the most exciting and more like wow as you guys have seen it. Now, just before I do wrap this up, I'm going to tell you the one that I'm going to do was only shown one time. I'm pretty sure it was shown one time or maybe twice, but I'm going to keep it a secret and I'm not going to give you any clues. So please do not comment what the Christmas special of the most Rarest and Forgotten kids shows is going to be. Nope, I'm going to keep it a secret until then. So we'll have a massive surprise. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have an amazing Halloween, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.